It's HPR, All Things Considered. I'm Dave Lawrence. Today we have a world-class musician joining us and a woman who has worked with some of the very biggest names ever in the music business. A sampling of those would be Luther Vandross, Rolling Stones, Tina Turner, Sting, just to name a couple of highlights. Plus, she's a Grammy Award-winning artist with her solo record So Intense, the hit How Can I Ease the Pain, of course, her exploits documented in the film 20 Feet from Stardom. She is back at the Blue Note tonight, 6:30 and 9. Band Grand Patan, of course, joining her. And then she's tomorrow at the Kahilu Theater at 7. It's Lisa Fischer returning to the show with us. Aloha, and a big mahalo to you, Lisa.
Yes, aloha. How are you?
How's it going? Giving you a big hug. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Aloha, mahalo to you, Dave. Thank you so much for having me on your program.
It's such a big thrill. You're welcome. And you were a great guest last time. And you were one of those, when I put the video of our interview up at the Blue Note, so many people are always commenting on that thing. And people just love your personality and your fans. Lisa has almost like a cult level following. It's very unusual in terms of the way people adore you. And so what's new since we last had you on a year or so ago? I've been looking at your social media, but I know you probably have some highlights of fun things you got to do.
Oh my goodness, what did I do? I did, there's an organization called Equal Means Equal I just recently did in New York, and just equal rights for women and men. So that was a beautiful event that was held at the Edition Hotel. I also worked at the Cincinnati Symphony and at Strathmore doing our show there. It's been made for orchestra as well, so we've been doing that along with just our regular show. So we've been really busy, thank God.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful.
I saw those orchestra gigs, and so you're at the Strathmore with the National Philharmonic Symphony. I saw the Cincinnati Pops, a couple other ones. What is the nature of those gigs?
It's basically the show that we currently do, but tailor-made for orchestra. J.C. Maillard and Linda Goldstein, my manager, and Chris Walden did the arrangements. My brother was very ill at the time, so I couldn't really focus on it, but they kind of had an idea. We talked about it over the phone of what we were envisioning, and they were telling me their beautiful ideas, and so it's all come to life now, and it's just been wonderful to be able to adapt our show, what we do freely, with a more constructed system with the orchestra. It's been really cool to do.
That's a good point, because people who are going to see you, Lisa does a very improvisational show, very spontaneous. I bet the two shows tonight will really be different from each other, as will then tomorrow night's show. So to lock it in with an orchestra must be a little bit of a challenge for you.
It's so much fun because it really does matter, the audience that comes, because we feed off of y'all's energy, and each room is so different, and, every moment, every kiss, everything is so different in the moment, so we just love working that way. It's been fun.
You've been doing this other thing, too, which I saw was in Paris and Montreal and maybe some other gigs, the dance-filled production. Fill folks in on that one.
Oh, my goodness. It's with Alonzo King Lines Ballet out of San Francisco. And his dancers are just so amazing. They have a lot of personality, but they're also classically trained. And they bring their heart and soul to the dance. And so what we've done is, with the help of Alonzo, with his beautiful vision, and with JC and his creative juices, and me just kind of going by the seat of my pants, we've created a soundscape for them to move to. So it's been really wonderful, because I get to actually be on stage with the dancers and be a part of some of the movement, but in a very manageable way for me.
Right.
So I won't be on toe. I won't be on point.
Yeah, I was looking at it. It's like you said. It's like you're up there. You're part of the show, but they're kind of dancing around you as you're singing.
Yes, it's been so much fun.
What a trip.
I love that.
What a trip.
It's been really cool. Yeah.
And you also do a lot of, one of the things that I guess it's a lot of artists take advantage of with social media is posting interesting flashback stuff throughout their career. And so do your fans too, really. So you post some, but then some of your fans actually write things there too. I was looking at your Facebook and I found some interesting things that, in fact, one of your fans, this guy John Neff, wrote a few weeks ago on one of your posts that said, quote, "Lisa, it was wonderful to work with you at the Plant Studios some years ago on the Immigrant song by Led Zeppelin with Neil Schon and Narada Michael Walden. And I went looking on YouTube. I couldn't find that. What was that gig all about?"
It was a recording, actually. I don't know if it ever got released, but it's interesting because I actually now do the song in the show. But we do it in our own way, which has been really fun. So it's funny how sessions and shows are a bit of an imprint on my heart, and then we get to bring it to the audience. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, you include quite a bit of cover material in there, and Zeppelin, one of those, obviously Stones, touching on some of your experiences. I was looking at you had a picture up there. It was a birthday remembrance to Teddy Pendergrass. When and how did you first get that great opportunity?
Well, we had the same management company. It was Alive Enterprises out of Los Angeles with Shep Gordon, who lives here, and Danny Marcus, who lives in Los Angeles. And they managed Blondie and Luther and Stephanie Mills at one point. And Luther got them to manage me when I got my record deal through Danny Marcus at Elektra through Bob Krasnow. And so when Teddy was doing a record, they asked me to do the duet with him, and I was just so floored. You know, he was so lovely. He had his accident at that point, but he was just so full of life and so upbeat and so not bothered by it. His energy was just like nothing happened. You know what I mean?
And you have that kind of way, I bet, of bringing energy out of people too. And that's part of it might be because you've worked with so many different kinds of people, which makes you a bit of an unusual artist because you have probably learned a lot of different things about how to meld with people or what is a good way to match what they have to offer. Like, for example, one of the artists you're perhaps most known for being associated with, the Rolling Stones. When you look back at that, like, when was the last time you intersected with them? Do you still interact with them, or is that not part of your world these days?
Once in a while, I saw Patty Hansen and Keith and Patty's children. I saw Mick's daughter, both his daughters. I saw Jerry Hall. I haven't seen the guys because, they're sort of spread out. I did see Keith. It's probably been about a year ago, sometime last year. But I do get to see them, and I always carry them in my heart, so I feel like they're around me all the time.
And you interpret their stuff so well, too. It's kind of, all of the stuff, whether it's Zeppelin, whatever it is that you touch, it's like you really don't play it. When you make a tribute to the song, because it almost becomes a whole different song. It doesn't even sound remotely like the original when you take it to heart on stage, especially with your voice and the soulful, and they use this delay. Lisa has techniques she uses on her voice live, which will really very psychedelic sort of effect. And one of the when you told that great story of first auditioning, I guess, for them a long time ago when you were on with us before, but one that you never talked about was I saw it again on your social media, flashing back to your early work with Dee Dee Kennebrew of the Crystals and your first time visiting Amsterdam, you said, with her. What a way to learn, huh? Backing, again, people like that.
It's been amazing. I mean, I had gone to see a reader just as a quickie thing in the Village. I was with a bunch of friends. We were out that day, and we passed by one of those psychic reading places, and we go in, and everybody gets read. But the woman told me that I would cross water before the year was through, and she had told me this in the summertime. And I was like, yeah, sure. Because I never had a passport. I never, been out of New York. I'd never crossed water. So I ended up looking in a magazine called Backstage in Showtime, and there was an audition for the Crystals. And I'd known about their music because my mom and dad used to play their music all the time. And so I went to the audition, and I met Dee Dee, and I sang for her, and she hired me right on the spot. It was beautiful. And then she taught me so much because there was so much I didn't know. It was my first time going to Amsterdam, and it was just so free and so wild, and the red light district and just all that madness, you know. It was such a beautiful experience, and she was such a great maternal teacher as well, you know.
Was it a similar kind of thing with Tina Turner?
Very different. Tina's operation is a lot larger, and so there's a huge band, there's a huge crew, much larger venues, and so, you know, her management and her assistants and all that. We did get to sit and rehearse with her and talk with her, and every once in a while go out to dinner with her, and knitted her this beautiful shawl one year for her birthday. And so we do get to spend a little bit of time with her, but the road is so difficult to live and perform. It's like a lot of times you don't really have a lot of time to spend with people, not quality time, you know, and a lot of times you're just recuperating and preparing for the next show. But she's just so full of energy, and she's so sure about what she wants and what she doesn't want, and just giving you her way of seeing the music. It was just so beautiful. She has to feel it. It has to be honest, and you have to feel it. It can't be any tricks, can't be any of that kind of stuff. She wants your heart and soul, you know, and so it was just a blessing to work with her.
What about I see that you did this event last year honoring Roberta Flack, the Jazz Foundation of America, A Night for the Soul. What about that relationship?
That was so amazing. I had done something, it must have been the late 80s. It was in Japan, and we were all on a show together. I can't think of the name of the show, but she was there, and Luther always spoke about her beautifully, and my mom just loved Roberta Flack. She was one of her favorite singers, and so I knew her voice, I knew her music, and to be able to sing with her and vibrate sound with her was just amazing. She sits at the piano with such command and such heart, and to be able to just sing with her was just a blessing. It was with Brenda Russell was there, Bobby Caldwell was there. We were all singing background together. Oh, and I can't think of the third person. Jesus, I see his face. I can't think of his name right now. Please kill me. But yeah, it was just a beautiful experience. It was with Lee Ritenour. He brought us out there.
Oh, wow.
The guitarist.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, he's smoking. And that's the cool thing about when you have that kind of diversity. Again, this is Lisa Fischer. She's at the Blue Note tonight, Kahilua Theater tomorrow. And all of it kind of shows in her concert because the various ways that she's plugged into all these different parts of other people's careers and made them sort of her own, she shows off during the course of the concert. And there's such diversity because we didn't even mention some Sting, Bon Jovi. I was looking at this video, in fact, of you. You're playing in front of like 80,000 people. It's Wembley Stadium with Bon Jovi. How long were you in his band?
Well, it was one show, so it was Seal and I think it was Tony Braxton was on the show. What happens is they will get one band. Instead of hiring 12 bands for each of the artists that come, they'll have one master band with background singers. And so a lot of the people two of the singers were from London. Katie Kassoon and, I can't think of the other girl's name right now. Oh, the age thing is getting there. But we ended up singing a couple of songs for Bon Jovi, and it was just a lot of fun. His voice is just so gorgeous and so beautiful, and he's such a handsome, charming gentleman. You know? Yeah,
how about Sting?
He's just heaven. He is just pure freaking heaven. I ended up singing on a recording session for him on a winter's night. It was one of his projects. It was like a winter kind of Christmassy sort of project. And just to be in the studio and the lights are low and you have your headphones on, so you feel isolated, but at the same time, you feel like you're one with him when he's singing because he's in your head now, you know. And so you get to hear his voice in such a pure, naked way. So it makes it easier to blend and to create with him. He's just a joy. He's so serious and so, oh God, is so dedicated to what he does on a deep spiritual level.
I can't imagine, though, that you have a difficult time doing any of this stuff after. If you can just imagine the career this woman has had, going on stage in stadiums, having to do Gimme Shelter right next to Mick Jagger night after night after night. And then you talk about like the lights down low with Sting in the studio. It's just like, yeah, how many places have you gotten to do your craft, lady? It's just really something else to talk to you.
I'm just so thankful because you never know what life has in store for you. I just try to keep an open heart and I pray for the best. I really do.
What's next for you after Hawaii?
We're going to travel to Oz. We're going to Australia. We're going to be in Sydney, Melbourne, and Adelaide. And then we head to Los Angeles, to the Catalina. And then we'll head to New York City for the Blue Note. And then there's a couple other shows we're doing between now and September. I just don't have them memorized yet. But yeah, we'll be touring until at least November. So I'm really just trying to stay healthy and get my rest. And it's so easy here to be that aloha spirit. It's just got me wrapped up. I'm so good here.
I bet you are. You are. And no other projects though that we need to hear about so we'll know next time around. Like there's no other big collaborative thing that's in the offing that you're not telling us about.
I think so in August, I believe it is, I'm going to be with Jules Buckley in the Metropole Orchestra, and it's featuring Letticy, who I absolutely love and adore. She's such an amazing artist, and her heart is just so big. Her voice, her talent is so huge, and so I'll be supporting her in that show. It'll be one in London for the BBC and one in Amsterdam. So I'm looking forward to that. Grand Baton won't be there for this one because the orchestra will already be there. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to recording with Grand Baton. We're talking about doing a live record, so we're trying to put that in the works for now.
Nice. Well, people can see you and Grand Baton live tonight at 6:30 and 9 at the Blue Notes, tomorrow at 7 at the Kahilu Theater. Huge thrill to have the one, the only, Lisa Fischer returning to All Things Considered, our very special guest. Always a lot of fun and always brings out such positive energy. And who knows what you're going to be doing on stage. I'm sure it's going to be a complete surprise, even for you probably. But thank you so much for taking some time for us, Lisa. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, I do too. I appreciate you. Thank you, Dave.
And have a great couple of shows. I give you a big hug and a big high five.
I love you. Thank you.
Be safe, okay?
You too. Thank you, sweetheart. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.